things like this CPE. So you do have pockets of strength in the market. So the price action has just basically been like short city. Every single gap in the market has been fading off for seems like for months, but it's not. But in general, we've just had a distribution market. So what a classic distribution market is right, professionals, pros, they're selling to the retail people. And you've been seeing that churn for really quite some time, right? With the destruction of SPACs and things like that, where, every little bounce, every little green day, people get really excited. And then, it's just big money selling to not so big money. And it's obviously much easier to see after the fact than as it's happening in real time, beyond just the price action of things. So we're still in, at least on the tech side, a short only market on techs. Now on the non-techs, what we're seeing is strength in all sorts of names, like oil stocks and things of that nature. So if you do like a quick search on your TC2000, say you do easiest way to do it is like industry watch list. So see all these like IXs, right? So on TC2000 you can do 5-day, 30-day, right? So say you do a 30-day search, what you start to see is like there are pockets of strength here that we just may, you may not be aware of. So you've got IX 1080. So this is aluminum. So like aluminum has been flying. Yesterday it was up 3%. So the easiest way to find. So now you have this sector. All you have to do here is click this. You've got all the aluminum companies. So you can start to pick them off, and you'll start to see some really nice kind of trenders over here. So aluminum up 26% last month. Shipping and ports. Like this is, first of all, if you didn't know this was shipper, right? And you just saw something that was up a double this year, you'd be like, holy shit, like that's like a huge heater. That must be electric vehicles or something, right? It's up a double since January. So, these are like all kind of different names that just kind of make yourselves aware of. You can see here, like this is something I had in my IRA, for quite some time, and I fucked up the trade. But like you have like these kind of names, like where there's a lot of trend. And so that's where, you really want to be kind of like always looking at things and thinking like, okay, the price action's nasty, but is there anything else I could be trading, And so you have like these things. Look at this, consumer cycle, luxury goods. What's that fucking watchmaker stock we had for a swing trade? I sold it early too, but what's it? It goes with the song. Siggy Bear, right? So like we had it on this flag over here, and like you had this huge push. So you have like all these pockets of strength, like apparel manufacturing. So there are things to be doing. Like see this copper looks like a big fucking breakout right here. This is a flat top breakout. I mean, that's about as, picture perfect as you can get. Now, there's not that many copper companies, so, right, it's very easy. Like this FCX, I know Paul's in this for a swing, on the swing trade side, or he was. That's a good looker right there. That's a good looker right there. So you want to, like, really be kind of focusing in on, like, I think this one probably plays a little bit of catch-up. But, like, that copper looks like it's ready to some ripped tits and butts and all that other fun stuff. You can see here steel is another one that's going. So, just different things. Like, you don't always have to be just looking at the same tech stocks. Now, I like shorting, as you know. So, for me, like, shorting is fun. So, like, I don't care that the market stinks or whatever. Like, that's the nature of the game. Now, let's take a look. There's quite a few plays out there. But I do encourage you to just kind of take a look at some different sectors at some point, especially if you're having trouble trading in this market, which a lot of people do because it is a little bit back and forth, and we'll have to see what's going on. Let's take a look at the gappers. This home looks like it's probably a buyout. NMRD. So this is a little small guy stock. 50 million shares in volume. Not bad. Like, I'm not going to play this kind of junk. There's easier money out there in this market. AUPH, it had earnings out today. You see, you got a gap up on this. Not really Not really my cup of flavor either. Bum, 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 bum. Nicola. I didn't see a PR on this bad boy. Pass. Pass. Run. Sunrun posts narrower Q, net one loss, higher revenue, raises outlook. You know, so this is kind of interesting because this one is like super oversold, but now it's like bouncing back into range. That makes it a little bit more tricky. Ken, what do you mean by earnings beat? The chart on this stinks. Now, my one thing is like maybe this could run is this. What was it fucking solar stock we were playing yesterday that we were looking at yesterday? Right, this Sunrun did have. I think maybe you're talking about something like this where you may gap down and then squeeze right off the MAs. That's kind of or close to it. You had that on SPWR yesterday, and it had a nice squeeze. I mean, it's like $4. So that support zone, did help hold pretty well. I think, maybe run squeezes, but all these like kind of earnings plays have been fading off. I'd almost be leaning towards, leaning towards fading this if it actually ended up getting like back into this zone. All earnings plays have been fading off like nonstop. There's a handful of them that are, working pretty good, but it's not really. I, lean almost towards a little fade on that bad boy. Builder, now this is a earnings gapper that can hold because home builders themselves are like super hot. So what I mean by home builders are super hot is like one of the best, right, sectors has been the homies, right? The homies. Like Lennar, Builder, Pulte Homes, like these are all been really nice trenders this year, and that's going to be something. That's going to be something that really holds up too. Man, that's not bad. Like it may not have epic range, but the float on it's only 40 million. This is definitely probably tradable. It's not in our sweet spot because it's a home builder, but that does work. W swings through quarter one, revenue grows. You know what? This reminds me of OSTK. Remember OSTK reported earnings a couple days ago, and you had that like epic, one candle spike from 79 to 88, and you're like, holy shit! And it was going, and then it wasn't going, right? Where it just kind of rolled over. I wouldn't be surprised, like W trade's a little bit thin, but this is a primetime candidate for probably an opening gap fade. Just like, remember Lyft yesterday? So Lyft, right, gapped up on its earnings, ran into the 9 EMA and it faded off all day. And that's like a gimme setup right there for the most part. That's hot. That's real hot. Oh, yeah. So, man, I would definitely roll. W looks like we could fade this gap here. That's a very tricky setup. It's not the easiest setup. Like, you have to kind of pull and pray on it a little bit, use a stop, and then you have to really massage it, meaning, like, you got to add a half, and then once it kind of sets up, you add another half, and really let it go. But that one should have sweet range. If the rug pulls on it, it's going to drop 20. I don't know if the rug's going to pull, but if it does, it's going to drop $20, $30. Hey, this ASO, man, you know what? This looked like a hot swing, and then it had a shakeout, and now it's starting to go. This is a really nice chart. I mean, that's like, if you do like the camping world, like all that kind of shit, right? All of that kind of stuff has really been holding up. Good. That looks like more of a swing trade. PayPal had its earnings out. People jump over, pops up full guidance. You know, this might be another one that rolls over. Like, it's not the easiest trader, but like it's got a weird daily chart, and you've got kind of like a weird sweet spot. The play has been to fade these. I believe I believe SQ also had its earning. Are these after hours, you know, on this one? Can somebody check for me if this was after hours or it already came out? Viag post higher, adjusted earning. Man, that thing sucks to trade. Probably leave that alone. Alright. Let's see what's happening on the downside. PCT Pure Cycle Technologies. Looks like there's a hit piece out on this one. No volume on it though. A couple 100,000 shares. It is sitting at the 200 SMA. If it got under 16, I think probably you could play it. That's not an easy setup. Just because the 200 SMA is there. Now FSLI had some news out. FSLY had some news out. I didn't see the news, but I think it was something like CEO quit or CFO quit. Usually, you can see here, this is like a longer term. This is a longer term rollover pattern here. Now it's down already 20%, so you can't really chase it down at the open. But this thing is ripe for like at least a pop at the open and then a refade. I wish it wasn't down so much already right off the bat. It makes it a lot more tricky. But I think that's going to be in play. Blizzy's RKT. He loves this company. And Shaz revenue surges. I mean, these fuckers are making like billions of dollars. Look at this thing, and it can only go down. This is amazing. God bless America. If you got some turd stock that, like, you know, invents condoms for, you know, goats, like you could be flying right now. But if you're growing and making billions, it don't matter. It don't matter. Yeah, it's probably going to break its IPO lows. I'd probably take a pass on that. Now, there was some news out that, you know, all these virus names, there was like some waiver. I don't know what the fuck that waiver means. But in general, they have pulled back down to support. I actually think we try to bounce these things off the MAs for a hot second. It'd be like maybe a 15-20 minute trade at the open. But like you've got mRNAs right on, so you got two levels of support here, right? And this is for a flip. It's not for, you know, longer trade. So you got two levels of support here. Fuck, it already on it. That's NVAX. You got 200 SMA, this old price support. That's top of the list. Top of the list, baby. Then you've got mRNA sitting at the 50 SMA. This is not as strong a support, but it does trade a little bit better. Yeah, Chris, we don't know what that means, though. What does that mean? I don't know. I think these are both potentially bounce spots. Yeah, I think we try to bounce these fuckers. We'll see what's up. Dun, 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 left Penn. Yeah, Penn had earnings out. I'm not seeing much of a reaction yet. But like, frankly, you know, we've had luck trading the stock, and it does have a rollover pattern. I think this is something we look for on the ORB to the downside. You know, maybe we hit into the 200 SMA here, and we get a little bit of a shred. Now, on the crypto side, there's some heaters here. I got 40,000 of these ADAs at like 142. This thing is red hot. I mean, I think probably I wouldn't chase it up here, but on any pullbacks, I'm thinking this thing runs into maybe the 2 spot, 220. I'm just making up numbers to make it sound like I actually have a target, but it fucking sounds like cool, right? But I definitely think 2s on this thing. I'm in this Neo too, but this thing looks like a breakout. This is your classic, by the way. Any swing traders, you should be doing this setup. Anytime you get a big momentum play and you pull back to the 20 SMA and then you remount the 9 EMA, you can put a stop under the low. You almost always, in a hot market, so not the stock market, but any hot market, you almost always get back into the old highs. I mean, you can risk like 5-10% and maybe get a double on something. That's what I'm trying to go for. This market is still red hot. Bitcoin has been floundering a little bit, but the rest of them are really looking juicy. I keep telling you guys, I've been telling you guys in 2017, you should be trading this. You have to be trading this. You need to be trading this. You can sit around and sit there and pick your balls trying to get 50 cents, 60 cents here or there in the stock market. But like, you can get doubles and triples. Like, this was a trade I entered for a day trade yesterday in the crypto chat. And it was just, this is like the easiest thing. I hit this thing like right at 18. Just, you had a breakout, kind of pull back on this thing. And you ended up getting a nice kind of flat top on this. This is like, you got sick range on these things. Like, you got to be trading this. This probably actually has some more upside on it. That thing it's a heater. It's a heater. So those are the things, to just be real mindful of. Like, you got all this range here. You gotta definitely be trading this stuff. XTZ probably looks like a breakout. OMG looks a breakout. This is a little shit box, but it's been trailing for a while. That one actually looks really good too. And then this 1 inch is one I'm looking for an entry, just because it's got a cool name. But you have a flat top breakout here. It just had its listing on Coinbase recently. I think that, any pulls on this one, we got to come in hot on this thing. Now let's go back into just, down over here, our buckets for today. So we've got our virus names. We're going to try to long these things only if I see the perfect intraday setup. We've got Penn, W, PayPal, FSLY for shorts. And then, we have our like regular kind of stocks that we may trade, that are always on our list. This BTX is sitting on the 9 EMA. Now, we missed our fucking entry already in the pre-market. It's already up 8%, but I think this thing is ready to bounce. You had 2 low volume pullback days. I mean, that's huge. Like, you get 2 low volume pullback days, you're going to have a chance to get these things going. There's so many fucking turds out here. I got to get rid of half these stocks on my list here. Yeah, I think that BNTX, we need a long. That's going to be the one. Now make sure you kind of set up your 6 window layouts and all that fun stuff. This is going to get wild today. The market is in trouble. It's been, at least on the tech side, when banks and oil stocks are the only things that are in play. Things are definitely weird. I highly encourage you guys to go through and look at those indexes, though, when you get a chance. But we got ourselves a nice little easy. We got a lot of earnings plays to play today, guys. I don't even know if we have to really fuck around with trying to read the market. We can add BTX to the long side, and man, we get going. Now, this Peloton did have that news out yesterday. I think we keep shorting this thing on all bounces. We got it, right? We got it. We keep shorting this thing on all bounces. Its earnings are out after hours, though, so don't hold anything overnight. mRNA, NVAX for potential bounces. We got our earnings plays, different bucket. Always keep 3 buckets. Then we got our gap fades. We're going to shred. Let's go have some fun. Yesterday was hot, man. That was the first time I traded the close in months. Yes! I'm ready to do it again. No, I'm not. All right, let's do this. Have fun. That's the list. I'm sticking to it.